One time I remember that a doctrine came up within the camp. And I pretty much told the brothers, what's the result? What's the end game? Let's skip all the bullshit and arguing over doctrine and get to what you expect us to teach at the end of your whatever you're trying to do. Okay, so what's the proof you got there? All right, cool. You don't have proof, or this is your proof. Let's deal with it. Let's measure everything against logic. Obviously, you know how that ended because we're not teaching anything different. But we want to get to the point. The Lord wants to get to the point. It's too much fluff and all this bullshit. A lot of times, as men, we need to just get to the point. We have a big problem with trying to dance around shit and try to make a case. And when I worked in customer service in a call center, it really taught me a lot about getting to the point. A lot of times, and here's what's funny about that industry. Customer service, you have to tell a customer no without using the word no. Literally, that's what they listen for. A lot of times when you call in anything, insurance, cable bill, whatever, count how many times they say they actually use the word no. Or not. We will not be able to do this. We won't be, you know what I'm saying? And you remember the movie The Negotiator. He says, never use the word no. It eliminates options. And the only option is to kill people and shit, I mean, of course, that's very extreme, but literally, you're in an industry that makes you talk a lot, but they have what's called an AHT, average handle time, which includes talk time. You got to get rid of a call within maybe 2 or 3 minutes, because you go past that, then you're biting into what they call damn, what the fuck was that? Whatever it is, the average wait time for a customer. Like, they literally can be fined if there's a long wait to speak to a representative. I don't think that that's the case anymore, because every time I call anywhere, average seconds to answer. That's what it is. ASA. This is a real thing. You want to get people service fast enough? Let reps get to the point. Let reps just say no. You want a payment extension? No, you cannot have one. Let me speak to your supervisor. No, this is not a reason to speak to a supervisor. The problem is people with their situations, and they think that they're the only one in the world, or their circumstances the only one in the world that's there. That's that way. In the grand scheme of things, this is a business. We're here to make money. You're not paying your bill. Your cable's getting cut off. But we can't say that to a customer. I was never able to say that. And customers used to really lay it on us. Because they used to be like, so you're saying you don't value your customer, or you're saying this. You know what I'm saying? So the lack of getting to the point, or the lack of an ability to get to the point, causes a lot of congestion, period, in life. It's not just call centers, it's in life. If somebody calls me, for example, and says, hey, I need to borrow money to do this. And then I look, and it's a brother who don't pay their tithes and don't do shit, but then you want help. I already know what the answer is gonna be, but I have to go through a process, because I don't never want to just tell somebody no, right? So I have to go and say, hey, I have to talk to, I would say the wise men, have to talk to somebody about it. I don't want to just give a no, even though I know that this person is literally, no, you're in no position to ask to help when you're always, you know what I mean? But if I could just give a flat out no, that'll save other people time. Or even with my mom. My mom seems to think my father is the only patient that his doctors have. So she's like, oh, they got to take this tube out of him. Mom, it's going to take time. It's not something that's going to be 1, 2, 3. You know, it's going to take time. Oh, no, I got to fight with this person. No, you don't got to fight with this person. You fight, they may push him to the back of the queue. You know? People that don't know how to get to the point. We're not in a get to the point society. We're not in that type of society. We're in a very fluffy society. We're in a very, hey, I got to pretend to like you so you can buy something off of me. Salespeople are the shadiest fucking people in the world, honestly. But why is it? Because the only way they're going to sell is to make people think that they're invested. You know, why do NFL players do half the shit they do? Right? They'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I want to bring a ring to the Chicago Bears, but they got to pay me fairly and shit. They all that extra fluff. Nigga, what do you bring to the table? Okay, we'll pay you for that. Oh no, that's not enough. You know, so then all the extra shit. No, get to the point. Get to the point. One thing about, I've noticed in life, people from the Caribbean, including myself, my parents, my daughter's parents, they're not, a lot of people misunderstand Jamaicans and West Indians and Cubans and Puerto Ricans. Well, Puerto Ricans have been pretty much assimilated into the society, but one thing you notice about Caribbean culture is we're very to the point. We don't want to dance around and all this bullshit. No, get to the point. What do you want? Okay, this is what I can do for you. You know, what can you do for me in return? Okay, cool. Boom, this is the agreement. I pay you this much to do this job, and that's it. You know, but American culture is not like that. American culture is very dance around, very, hey, how are you? You know, do you really give a fuck seriously, do you really give a fuck about how the person's doing? No, you're just a fucking customer. We don't, no company in America tells anybody you're just a fucking customer. No, you have to talk to the person. I used to work with a guy, man, no lie. I'm not mad at him for it because it got him where he needed to be in the job. He used to tell customers, I want to thank you for putting food on the table. You're the reason why my kids can eat and shit like that. And that's not all the way true. I mean, his labor and his skills are what, you know, and of course, what the Most High has blessed him to be able to do. But he used to actually go out of his way because customers eat that shit up. You know, customers have gotten accustomed to getting their asses kissed. And that translates over into life. Like, why, when you come to hear the truth, and this is one thing I love about Israelites. For the most part, we do not sugarcoat shit. You come up to us, we will tell you how it is, even if we got to be rude about it. That's why there's so few Israelites. But the fact that it's the truth is why there's so many Israelites. It's funny because we don't have the numbers that a doctrine of this level of honesty should have because of us. Because we are the ones that go out there and tell you like it is. If we danced around and didn't get to the point, guess what? We would have 1 million Israelites. 2-3 million people going out there in the streets and teaching. But we don't, because we don't get to we get to the point. The world is accustomed to people dancing around the point.